Welcome back. Today is January 15th, Wednesday. It's 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard. If you are joining us for the first time, welcome. This is the $110,000 portfolio allocation video. I believe this is part 3, might be part 4. I'll have to go back and look at the videos, but if you guys haven't listened to the previous videos, please go back to those videos and watch them so you know kind of what we're covering here. But I will do a quick recap as I've been doing every video. What we're doing is we are allocating a $110,000 portfolio. You might ask, why $110,000? Well, we want to have a round number for our actual portfolio allocation, which is going to be 100,000, and then we want to have a little bit of fun with some stock picks, which we're going to use for $10,000 to pick some individual stocks that will hopefully outperform the market. Now, the question being, why not just buy index funds, just put everything 100% into VTI or SPY? Well, the question is, are we at an all-time high in the market? Are we headed down? Are we going to head into a recession? We've got new administration coming in to the U.S. With the Trump administration. We've got inflation that's been ticking up, and the worry is always, well, what if we are at the high? What if we're about to go into a corrective year? If we go and put all $100,000 into the market, we are likely going to maybe suffer some volatility, suffer a little bit of a drawdown for the next year or two, or who knows how long. So let's dollar cost average in. And let's also diversify the portfolio. So through some back testing, I've identified what we're going to allocate into and track over time. And you'll have to forgive me on the last video. I've actually had made a mistake and put that in the notes, but we are looking to have 40% into the NASDAQ. Looking to have 35% into VTI, which is the total stock market index. It might be a Vanguard fund. It's the total stock market index, so similar to the S&P 500. 10% in gold index funds, 10% in the 20-year Treasury bond TLT, and then we've got 5% left. That will be cash, or a holding. UUP is a ticker for cash. And then for the $10,000, we actually have allocated into 2 positions. We've got a position in AMD. We've got a position in Moderna. And now if we tab over to our chart, we're going to actually take a look at the positions here, and we've actually got some in gold as well. So let's take a quick look. AMD, we put 1.5K. Moderna, we put 1,000. So AMD, we're at 1.5K. Moderna, we've put 1,000. We're actually going to make another pick today, and we're going to be buying Baidu, which is a Chinese search engine that has been pretty beaten up given the entire China trade. That market's been dramatically down here. So with the NASDAQ, we've got I'll call it about a $7,000 stake, 7K. We're trying to get to 40. VTI, we haven't bought yet. Gold, we have about $2,000 out of 10. TLT, we have 6,000. And that is where we're at. So we have allocated 7, 8, 9, 15 out of our 100K so far. And then we've allocated 2,500 on our stock picks. Today we're going to be upping that to a $4,000 allocation, so 40% of the stock picks. So I'm going to go ahead and buy Baidu right now. I believe the China trade is getting a little bit overdone, where we've seen these dramatic sell-offs in the market. We're going to go and add another pair of charts here. We're going to add Baidu. The China trade, I think the markets are pricing this in a little bit too dramatically as far as the Trump tariffs, and this is a really healthy company. It's between this and Alibaba. I actually prefer the price to earnings growth and the price to earnings ratio on Baidu. I think this is a good company that has a lot of upside and not really a whole lot of downside that's left. I mean, if we even look at this chart, we're looking at a 3-year chart right now. I mean, we're seeing some pretty critical resistance anywhere around, call it $81 down to maybe about $76. So I think this is a good accumulation range. There's a lot of upside left. We just have to get through a pretty significant amount of resistance. But, I don't think this is going to play out immediately, but I do think that this trade has a lot of upside for us to play out. So we're going to go ahead and get in that $1,500 position. We're going to go buy some Baidu. And if we're doing $1,500, it's trading at about 81. We need about 19 shares. Buy some 19 shares at market. Go ahead and fill that. And we're in on Baidu. So that's what we're in right now. We're going to keep watching and buying some of these stocks over time. You'll notice the Nasdaq's actually up 2.2% today on lighter inflation data. The CPI, VTI is also up 1.7. Gold is up a little bit. TLT is up a good amount as well, which I think we're getting near a bottoming pattern there sometime in the next quarter or two. Really good risk to reward here as well, and it's got a 4%, 4.5%, I believe, yield dividend. So there's some good opportunities here. I'm waiting on a little bit of a bigger correction for us to get more into the Nasdaq and more into VTI. Today, obviously, a strong day, not a day that we're necessarily going to be buying. I am hoping that we're not, at the bottom, so to speak, of this wave and then just headed higher. But it's totally possible. We've had about a 7.5% correction on the Nasdaq and about a 5.5% on VTI so far. But the good thing is, what we're in as of right now, everything is in a profit outside of what we just bought with Baidu. We're up nicely on the Nasdaq. AMD's up a good little bit. We bought it at 115. It's at 120. TLT's up a bit. Gold is also trading higher, and Moderna is up almost about $1. So not too much movement, but we are in the money, which is nice. We've got ourselves, $300-400 profit as of right now. And we are going to continue to track these positions and allocate this portfolio. So thanks for listening, and we will talk again in the next video.